see that Allah is He, whom obey, whom prostrate, whoever is in the heavens, in the skies, and whoever is in the earth, and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountains and the trees and the animals and many of the people, and many of those against whom the punishment has been justified. Allah humiliated, there is none who can make Him honorable. Surely Allah does what He will. So here is mention about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do you not see? Allah is the one, to Him to prostrate the skies, whatever is in the sky and what is in the earth, and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountains and the trees and the animals, and many of the people, and many of those upon whom the punishment had been justified. There is already word of Allah that these people will be punished, but the worshipping of Allah is just physical and not spiritual. And when we bow down to Allah, when we prostrate to Allah and bow down to Allah and pray to Allah, it must be spiritual and not just physical, not just like an exercise, but rather it's linked to the heart. We link our heart to Allah. We really feel that we are doing this in front of Allah, and if we can try to feel that we are seeing Allah, or at least Allah is seeing us, and He is watching us, and He is listening to us, what we are saying in the prayer. But the topic here is different. I just get this verse. Explain here that there is one of the creation mentioned here is animals, that they are prostrating to Allah. In other part of the Quran it said the animals are remembering Allah, they are making tasbih of Allah. And Allah also explained us that the animals also under the command of Allah, they are following the commands of Allah. So actually all the creation of Allah, the skies and earth and the planets and the sun and the moon and the stars and the animals and the plants and whatever is in the sea, the mountains, all the creation of Allah, they are submitting to Allah. And once they submit to Allah, then they are Muslim, because Muslim means those who submit to Allah. Only the two creation of Allah, the jinn and the man, they are submitting by their will, by their choice. So many of the jinn and many of the men are also Muslim because they submit to the command of Allah. And those men and jinn who do not submit to Allah, they are not Muslim, rather they are disbelievers. They are not obeying, they are not willing to obey Allah, and they are not submitting to Allah. So they are rebellion to Allah. Now these animals Allah created, they are all following the commands of Allah. Whatever Allah command, they will do. There are some animals to whom Allah command that they can eat only some kind of meat. And there are animals to whom Allah command they should only eat the vegetables, and there is a wisdom behind that. All the animals we can learn a lot from them. And we have a good example and we have a bad example with the animals. For example, there's just one example is the lion. Is it lion is a good animal, is a bad animal? The lion, if you want to get the lion just for the bravery, that lion is a brave, we should follow the good attitude of the lion to be brave. So lion, it can be a good example because it is the example of courage, no fear, courageous. At the same time, the lion has a very bad example also. Why? What the lion can do? They can just beast. They are just beasts. They can kill. They can do bad things. They can, for their own food, they can kill violently. The lion could be a good example, and lion could be a bad example. For example, the dog. The dog is a good example, is a bad example. The dog could be a good example, and dog can be a bad example. Why? What is a good example in the dog? Dog is very loyal, sometimes more loyal than the human beings. Even one time you feed the dog will always take care of you, will always look after you, and will be very, very much loyal to you. Sometimes there are many men, they are worst compared to the dog. Dog is more better than in many occasions. The dog can prove to be more loyal than many of the human beings who are not loyal to those who are very good with them. So the dog can be sometimes has a very good example, and the example of one of the good example of the dog is the loyalty. They are very loyal to people, those who do good to the dogs, and they are all the life loyal. Sometimes the boss of the dog is good and the boss die, and you can see the dog is crying. Dog is crying. You can feel that he is very sad and is crying. He can show the loyalty to his boss. And the bad example with the dog has some bad attitude. Like example, the dog has some attitude of, we call hirs. Hirs means very greedy sometimes. There are good examples, bad examples. For the cat, for example, the cat. The cat is a very good example also. What is the one of the good example of the cat? Cat is very shameful animal. You know that shameful animal? For example, if the cat will defecate, don't like that somebody will look at the defecation of the cat. She wanted to dig the hole and she want to hide their dirt. She's shamed that people can see her dirt. Some human beings are worse than the cat. They go to bathroom, they don't like to flush. And they don't mind if some people will go and they look their dirt there, they don't mind it. They are worse than the cats also. The cat is very, very shameful. They don't like to show their dirt. They don't like to show their dirt coming from her womb, from her abdomen. She wanted to hide it. She's a very good example. But some of the bad example like also. The cat will snatch something, run away. And there are many other good examples, loving animal also. What about the example of the monkey? Is monkey is a good example or a bad example? Same again, monkey has a good attitude, good example, and monkey has a bad example. What is the bad example is? It's the deception. Monkey has lots of deception. Want to deceive. They want to make some plan to deceive and to steal and do many bad things. Like what happened when they were trying to deceive, they were digging the holes on the Saturday to collect the fish in the holes, and Sunday they pick up because Saturday was prohibited to do work. So they were doing fishing on Saturday by digging the holes. So they were like monkey attitude. And they were collecting the fish on the Sunday. And when the Prophet said it's a deception, they say, no, today is Sunday. The work is prohibited on Saturday. So we are doing the fishing on Sunday. So Allah make them monkey, those people, because they were attitude of monkey. But monkey has very good, some good example also. Monkey is very intelligent. Like example, while I was telling to my friend the story, there were some place in India, the people were living in some place, and the monkey comes and they steal their food. Every time they come, they steal their food. So now they are very much tired with these monkeys. They are coming to their house and they get their food and they run away. So they plan, they get some bread, they put some poison there, and they mix the poison with the bread and they cook the bread and they put there, and they were waiting for the monkey to come and eat and then go. And the people are observing them that the monkey will come, they will eat this poison bread and they will die, so we get rid of them. They will not come anymore. But when the monkeys came, they are very intelligent. They looked up bread, it's suspicious. They smell it, before they eat, they smell it, it looks suspicious. They don't eat, they just leave it. And they left all. When they left, after some time, after some minutes or hour or 2 hours, they came with the 2 old monkeys, very old one. And these 2 old monkeys are very intelligent one. Maybe they are doctor or scholar or philosopher or some doctor maybe. They come, they examine the bread, they smell it, they touch it, they break it, and they say, okay, let's go. They all left. After this is all the group of monkeys, they come with some leaves. They brought some leaves. And they eat all the bread together with the leaves. They eat all the bread and they eat the leaves together. And nothing happened to them. People looking, what happened? These people, they're eating all the bread with poison. And they are chewing with some leaves. And they have nothing happen. And they are looking for more bread. Maybe sometime again they can bring the same leaves. Why they brought the leaves? Because these leaves is antidote. The poison of that bread, it has antidote with that leaf. So when you eat that leaf, the poison will not affect them. Even more intelligent than the human beings. Even human being cannot do this analysis very fast. So we have a very good example. All the animals, Allah mentioned the animals in the Quran and He give them example. He give the example of mosquito, Allah give the example of the ant. You know, ant is a very beautiful example in the Quran. Because ant can work like a community. They have engineers, they have doctors, they have leadership. And they have a communication with the antennas. And they are learning a lot of things from the spider, from the ants, from the fly, from the mosquito. So these examples, many examples in the Quran. And beside the Quran, Allah is challenging us to get so many lessons from the animals. Animals are like teachers for us. We can learn a lot from them. And the bad attitude of the animals, we should avoid it. For example, one of the bad attitude of the pig. The pig is the most shameless and dirty animal. The people eating pig, they become very dirty attitude and they become very shameless attitude because it is a very bad animal with a very bad attitude of shamelessness and very bad attitude of dirtiness. Like example, in Philippines, when somebody is very dirty, they call baboy, means bad boy, dirty boy. But still the pig has very good attitude also. What is the attitude of the good attitude of the pig? The pig will eat all the dirt to destroy itself, but saving the people and saving the other animals. Because pig, Allah command the pig to eat dirt and to consume the dirt and to recycle the dirt. So Allah did not create the pig for a food. Rather, Allah created the pig to clean the atmosphere, to clean the environment.